What's up, family? Welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate it. I was watching a YouTuber that I subscribe to, Real Odds and Evens. He does a lot of skit, comedy type, off the cuff, something to make you laugh and giggle when you might be having a rough day, just want to giggle at something silly. But then he'll do lives and go over some things, real things in life. You tell he's thinking, observing. And he made a comment on the live the other day, or from the time you all watched this, it's probably been a couple of days now, where he said something to the effect of mental illness is real on YouTube and social media. Like it's a thing. And that struck me because I started to think to myself, in this day and age that we live in, we hear that word so often and seemingly way more than we did when I was growing up. My 30th high school reunion is actually this year. I graduated in 95. And you didn't really hear the word mental illness that much. You know, we had the class in school back then. Y'all know the word that starts with an R. That sounds like tarded. We had class for that, and that would have been pretty much the equivalent of mental illness of what, as far as what we knew it to be. But when you look at it today, and especially on social media, it seems like it has gotten way out of hand. And I was trying to think to myself, what in the world happened or what changed to cause so many, I'm going to use the word silly or even unfortunate people to be saying the things or presenting the things that they present. One of the movies that I like to watch, Batman, The Dark Knight, there was a guy that was working with the Joker, and Batman was trying to convince the guy and let him know, hey, you not who what you think you are. The Joker chose you for a reason. Your mind is weak. He was trying to let dude know, you ain't special. You not tough. You not a threat. He chose you because he's able to manipulate your mind because your mind is already weak. And I use that thought from the movie to tie it into what I'm about to say now. I think that social media has given, and it's a platform for everybody. So it's not secluded. It's not secluded to one demographic or another, whether you intellectual, smart, if you crippled, handicapped, blind, one arm, three legs, it don't matter. It's open for anybody who's willing to get on here and start a channel. And I appreciate that. But along with the good things that you're going to get from social media, you got to accept the bad things too. And one of the bad things is people, my opinion, it's Professor X opinion, okay? I need to put a disclaimer right here. My opinion. People whose minds are already weak. See, back in the day when you didn't have social media, when we was going to school, put it this way, when we was going to school, we had what we call PE, or physical education. We would go out there, play sports, play kickball, dodgeball, whatever. Learn how to, play soccer. We would do certain things. In kickball, you kick the ball and you try to run the first base, somebody grab it, they could throw the ball, hit you. In school, we would say try not to hit them in the face, so on and so forth. Well, if you was kind of nerdy, kind of clumsy, you wasn't that athletic, you wasn't gonna kick the ball that hard. You probably was gonna miss the first kick. And this is the thing. You probably gonna miss the first kick. By the time you kicked it, somebody's gonna catch it and throw you and hit you hard and get you out. And that's just the way that it was. Somebody was going to get the ball, throw it hard, get you out, and you had to have this silly look on your face while everybody laughed at you and go back to the bench and sit down. We're living in a time now where they have done almost everything in their power to eliminate, I don't want to use the word too often, but when kids pick on other kids in school, y'all know what that's called. In this day and time, they've done everything in their power to eliminate that from the classroom. And at the same time, the rate of those who are affected by that taking their own, deleting themselves, is at a higher rate than it was when the Generation X was in high school. When we was in school, I'm gonna say it one time, you got bullied for everything. If you had a big nose, you got bullied. If you was too light skinned, you got bullied. If you was too dark skinned, you got bullied. If you wore glasses, you got called four eyes. If you was pigeon-toed, you was bullied. If you was bow-legged, you was bullied. If you dated somebody outside your race, you was bullied. If they found out you was touching yourself, you was bullied. If they found out your family stayed in a raggedy house, you was bullied. If your parents had a raggedy car, you was bullied. If you was a senior and had to ride the bus to school because you didn't have a car, you was bullied. If you was overweight as a female, you was bullied. If you was too skinny as a female, you was bullied. If you was overweight as a male, if you smelled funny, if your pants was high water, if your hair wasn't combed, if your hair was wet and smelled like doggy, you was bullied. Nobody took themselves out. Now we're living in a society where they have pretty much eliminated that, and still people take themselves out because our minds are weak. We don't have the same mind that we did. But what changed, Professor X? Let me tell you what I think changed. Some of it. This ain't the answer to all of it, but some of it. Let me tell you what I think changed. Just like I said with the kickball. We're living in a time now where people can get on social media, they can get off work, be weird in their thinking already, right? They can have these weird ideas and concepts in their mind and in their thought processes already. They can get off work, live alone, have a cat, have a dog, and get something to eat, take a shower, get on that computer at 6:30 p.m. and stay on that thing 10 hours interacting with people that think and act just like them. They ain't getting out and getting no fresh air. They not getting out and in society, moving around and really talking to people. They going to work. They in their own little spot. They ain't talking to nobody. Everybody consider them to be a little quirky, so nobody bother them no more. They get in their little car and they go back to the house. They nibble on a little bit of food and they on the computer and they're consuming information and content that's just as weird as they are, and they don't understand. Like Batman tried to tell dude, it's manipulating you because your mind is weak. That's why it's working. And then we see them get on social media, which allows a platform for everybody that has something to say to get on there. And when they open their mouth and say something, we go, what in the world is wrong with them? What's going on in our world today? And at the end of the day, I'm going to cut this short. I just want to throw this out there. I'll come back to it at another time. Y'all can put what y'all think in the comments. I remember when Nintendo first came out, or when we first got it, early 90s, when my dad finally got it for us. We be sitting up in there, my friends, playing Contra, Double Dribble, all this stuff for hours. And my dad and my mom, one of them would come and say, son, you need to go outside and get some fresh air. Now, we was outside kids anyway, but of course, with the gaming system that just came out, we was going to be captivated with that for a while. But my mom came to serve as a reminder. It's time for y'all to go outside and get some fresh air. And I'm not going to say it's even half of the problem or even a quarter of the problem. But I do believe that a lot of the issues that's going on with people whose minds are already on edge is the content that they're pulling in on a daily basis, what they're watching. And what they really need to do is turn the phone off, turn the computer off, and go outside and simply get some fresh air. Become one with nature. Breathe in the smell of the leaves, of the flowers, of the trees, of the dookie from the dog. If you got little geese like I do in my area, geese running around, sidestep the poo-poo on the sidewalk. Get some air. Say hey to a neighbor. Look somebody in the eye. Wave at somebody. Don't check your mail and run back in the house. Wave at somebody. Say hello. How are you? How was your day? Interact with people. Get outside and get some fresh air. Y'all got it? Good.